So then, moving on to what are the key elements on how you grade a website, right? So we kind of talked about the purpose and the goal of it. So what would be some of the ways if you were looking at a website, right? How would you determine if it was good or bad?
Yeah, first thing would be a readability. Some people think that they're being clever in the fonts and the colors that they're choosing for their type and the word on the website, and it's not always readable to everybody. You got to you got to know your audience. And if your audience is broad, you're going to encompass people who might not have good eyesight or might not have the device that you're thinking of when you're creating the website, and it's hard to read. Now, your words can be too small or too faint. They can also be way too big. So are the words that I'm meant to read on the website clear? And are they concise? Do they tell me what I need to know and nothing more? You don't want too long, didn't read. I'm not coming to your website to read a blog or a life story. I'm here to learn about the services and the products. And that's that. That's why I'm here at your website. Second thing would be is that I don't want a website that's too busy. Just because you have a page doesn't mean you need to throw everything on it. You don't need multiple pictures and multiple little devices and apps that are plugged into your website. So if you're going to put a live feed of your Facebook page on your website and you haven't posted in the last 3 months, that's just busy that doesn't need to be there. That's just content that doesn't need to be there. And I've seen somewhere. I see that a lot. Yeah, there's links or content on there that's distracting from the main purpose. And now I'm, as the user or the reader, I'm going through it trying to filter out what is it that I don't need to interact with, because I want to get to the why I'm here on this page. So don't just throw stuff on there and think that, oh, I'm just giving them everything. You just want to give them what they need and what they want. And then the third thing I would point out is what's called the fold. This is something that is a little pet peeve of mine. The fold is whatever you see when you first land on the page without scrolling down. So that means the fold is different in size for every device. A bigger screen computer will have a big fold. A cell phone will have a smaller fold. That first thing you see when you land on the page, a lot of people throw a big graphic or video or something on that fold, and it's distracting or it's in the way and I got to get around it, I got to get past it. Or it's only half of a picture. They didn't think about aspect ratio and how it would interact with different devices. And when I load the same page on my cell phone, I only get a quarter of the picture, and I have no idea what I'm looking at. Then I got to scroll past it because they didn't build the fold right. They didn't think about the various devices that would need to use it. So that first little bit that you land on needs to be designed for all devices. Your whole website should be designed for all devices, but that is the most important. That's where those first impressions are coming from. So statistically speaking, you have 5, I believe, milliseconds to convince someone to like your website. Within 5 milliseconds, they've decided whether they like or don't like your website. So if you didn't build your fold right, you've lost them, or you've already begun to lose them. So that first thing that people see is important. A fifth thing would be, is it mobile friendly? I've already mentioned multiple devices. Does your website work on your cell phone? If it doesn't work on your cell phone, then it shouldn't even be live. You need to get your cell phone worked out. Back in 2018, statistically speaking, 68% of retail website visits were from cell phones.
Holy
68%.
Retail?
Back in 2018 alone. So now we're in 2020, going into 2021, and cell phones are dominating the market. Cell phones and personal tablets and smaller laptops dominate. And if you build your website from your home iMac that's got this massive screen and it looks beautiful there, but then you pull it up on your phone and it's so difficult to navigate, you're going to lose a lot of your clientele. So that's how I would rank. I guess a fifth thing I would throw in is will it load? So words load pretty easy. Pictures aren't usually too bad, but videos. A lot of cool websites these days want videos behind everything, and you see other companies doing that and you want to kind of do it too. Well, they're paying for certain services that make that video load fast and make it work. And of course, it depends on what the user's internet is, wherever they're at, whether they've got Wi-Fi or great data and 5G or what. But given basic internet access. Will your website load? So if your website doesn't load in 0.05 seconds, at 5 milliseconds, again, you've already begun to lose them. So you want the content, they've tapped the link, they want to see the content. They don't want to wait for a video to load. A few months ago, I saw that a website I had visited before had updated, and I went to this page, I'm looking at it, and I'm reading the content, and it was several seconds into me reading the page. All of a sudden, the picture at the top starts moving. The whole time, it was a video that just hadn't loaded. I thought it was just a picture. It was a good quality image that it had stuck on, that I guess at the beginning. And little things like that, of course, the way it worked out for that company is I didn't really have a negative experience. But if it's a video and it's someone's face frozen mid-word, that's a bad experience. So does your website load?
So what do you think then about carousels? With your last point there about videos. So I know that this was a very big popular thing for a time, having carousels go by on a website. And I know there's some accessibility issues that have kind of been coming up with that for, disabilities and making websites more accessible. So what do you think about carousels in general? Is it something you should use, not use? What do you think?
For those who don't know what a carousel is, it's where images are on your website and then it'll swipe away and a new one will replace it. So again, be mobile friendly. Most apps a good website developed backends will have the ability to change the graphic you're using for mobile. So use the big one for a computer, and then when the screen is this size, switch to this smaller graphic. If you have that ability, carousels will probably work for you. If you don't have that ability, it probably is not going to work well on all devices. It's most commonly used today, from what I'm seeing, is either on a retail website and the products are going in front of you, or it is a service-based company or a high reputation company, and it's reviews swiping by. Those are much smaller and easier to get away with. You don't need a big fancy graphic. It's just a face, a name, and some words. Those usually work. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think you're going to lose any company using it, so I don't have a negative view of them, other than if you don't build it to work on all devices, you got a problem.
Gotcha. So another follow-up question to that, when you were talking about using them for products and stuff like that, you're not thinking of having those be like the very first thing that you see when the page loads, correct? That's more like in the body information of the web page versus at the very top, like above the fold when it first loads in, or how does that kind of look design wise?
That's a really specific question that really depends on the purpose statement of the website. So a good example of a product-based carousel is Amazon's homepage. You're going to see products moving by, but there's a difference between a retailer that's out to make really good big purchases occasionally with their customers, and companies that want repeat customers on the frequent. So the customers that want repeat buys constantly are companies like Amazon. So they're just throwing products in front of you at a set time, and they're probably logarithms built into those users, so they know who you are when you're on their page. And that's really advanced website building that the average small company probably will not be able to build out. So that carousel is I'm guessing, has user-specific data being built into it. I'm guessing. I don't know specifically how Amazon builds their website.
Oh, with Amazon, it 100% is. It's all cookie based.
Yeah, cookie based. So for those who don't know what cookies are the little things that are tracking what you're doing on the web. So when you land on their website, they already know who you are and what products they think you'll buy, and they want to start sliding them in front of you, and they want that impulse buy. But if you're not a company based on impulse buy and you're based on larger occasional purchases, then you're not trying to there is no impulse buy. So
Gotcha. Interesting.